Okay, this video is part 2 of this lesson that we're doing with surface area of prisms and cylinders. The previous one was the prisms. This will be the cylinders. When we're finding L, lateral area, as a reminder, lateral means sides. We only want around, not including those bases. So the best cylinder I have to put underneath the camera is my little Bob Ross coffee mug. But with your cylinder, when you're looking at the formula, it is 2 pi r times the height of the cylinder. Okay, the reason this is because 2 pi r, just the 2 pi r, is circumference. What we're doing is we're measuring the circumference right here, and then we're measuring it by the height. That way, it's just like if we were to unfold this as a net right here, it would be a rectangle, which would be base times height. Well, your base is going to wind up wrapping around to become the perimeter, which perimeter of the circle is circumference. So we're going to be taking the 2 pi r all the way around times the height to get our lateral area. With your total surface area, we then have 2 pi r squared. Pi r squared is the area of a circle. We have 2 circles as the bases. So once we find the lateral, we have to add those 2 bases onto it. So really what we're looking for is we need the height and we need the radius. That's all we really need here. Now in these problems, we're going to talk again about leaving your answers exact, and we're going to round to the nearest tenth. Exact means leave pi in your answer. Do not put pi into the calculator. And then rounding to the nearest tenth, plug everything in. We'll see exactly how we can go ahead and do this. Let's first take number 1. Let's identify our radius and our height. In number 1, they gave us the diameter is 15. So we need to make sure we don't use 15. We need to use the radius of half of that, which is 7.5. Don't want the diameter. And then your height, just like with the prism, it's going to connect base to base. Here's your height, 18. So let's look at lateral area. Lateral area, we're going to have 2 times pi times your radius times the height. Leaving the answer exact, what you're going to do is you're going to plug in 2 times 7.5 times 18. Notice I covered the pi up. 2 times 7.5 times 18, you're going to get 270. Then we're going to bring that pi symbol over here and put it at our answer. Okay? Then to find it round to the nearest tenth, just plug in 270 pi. Enter. Now we have it round to the nearest tenth of 848.2, and we do have millimeters, and surface area is squared. Now to find the surface area, we are going to go ahead and take what we have from the lateral, and we're going to add on a 2 pi r squared. So I'm going to write kind of tiny here to get that first part in. 2 pi radius times height plus 2 pi radius of 7.5 squared. It's a very long formula, but the way we give you the formula breaks it down exactly what you need to plug in, and there's really no trick into finding, oh, we got to use Pythagorean theorem or trigonometry to find something missing. We don't have to do any of that. The worst case, you're going to be given diameter and you have to notice we need radius. So again, for exact, you're going to plug in, we get these covered up, you're going to plug in 2 times 7.5 times 18 plus 2 times 7.5 squared. Leave pi out of the formula, or out of your calculator. Just plug in what you see here. When you do that, you're going to get 382.5, and then we place that pi symbol. That is the exact surface area. Then plug in 382.5 pi in the calculator, press enter. You'll get your rounded to the nearest tenth, 1,201.7, and we have millimeters squared. All right, the next one, what's going to happen is they're going to give us the circumference of the cylinder's base and the height of the base. We need to figure out what the lateral area and surface area are using these formulas. But given the circumference, we got the height. The height right here, flat out, is 4.8. We need to use the circumference of the circumference formula to work backwards to solve for r. So as we remember, circumference, 2 pi r. Your circumference is 6 pi. Now it'll be equal to 2 pi r. All we need to do is divide both sides by 2 pi. The pi's cancel, and you have I'm giving you the answer. 6 divided by 2, your radius ends up being 3. So now we can plug everything in. We're going to have, you look at the top of the page up here, for lateral area, we have 2 times pi times radius times height of the cylinder. Leaving this exact, again, plug in 2 times 3 times 4.8, and that gives us 28.8. And now we go ahead and slap on that pi symbol. There's your lateral area exact. Now plug in 28.8, pi symbol, and press enter in the calculator. Round to the nearest tenth, 90.5 centimeters area squared. Area, keep that squared. So surface area now, we're going to go ahead and repeat that lateral part, 2 pi times 3 times 4.8 plus 2 pi radius squared, 3 squared. Getting the exact, leave out pi, don't plug pi into the calculator, 2 times 3 times 4.8 plus 2 times 3 squared. This will give us 46.8 pi as exact, and then plug in 46.8 pi into the calculator. Get it as your round to the nearest 10th decimal, 147.0 centimeters. Remember, this is an area, so we have it squared. All right, last problem. Okay, so this is going to be a little different working backwards than what we have done in my class before. So let's just pay attention. It's not real difficult. There's just something that's going to change when dividing both sides to work backwards. We're going to find the height of the cylinder if the surface area is 352 pi centimeters squared and the radius of the base is 8. So R is 8. So we're going to take our formula. I'm going to go ahead and write that down real quick. And here it is. The surface area, when it says surface area, it wants the whole thing. If it says lateral area, that's when we want the L. So we're doing 2 pi RH plus 2 pi R squared. Let's plug in for what we have. Well, here we have S. So we're going to plug in 352 pi equals 2 pi. We have our radius of 8. We do not have our height. That is what we are looking for. Okay? Plus 2 pi, and then we want a radius of 8 squared. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I am going to go ahead and square 8 to get 64. So that's going to change to 64. To get h by itself, we're going to need, we can go ahead, if you want to multiply 2 times 8 to get 16, you can, but watch. Because we have this 2 pi here and this 2 pi here, we're adding these together, so we can't just say, okay, here, divide both sides by 2 pi. Because we have these adding, we need to see these as 2 separate terms that we need to divide. So, if we divide by the 2 pi, we have to divide this term by 2 pi and this term by 2 pi. That's what I meant whenever I said it's a little different than what we're used to because of that plus sign. And as we've already learned, we need to divide the other side. All of the pi's are going to cancel out. This 2 will cancel and this 2 will cancel. That's why I said don't even bother multiplying the 8 times 2. Okay, so cancel out everything we can. So now what we have is on this side, on the left side, we have dividing 352 by 2, we're going to get 176. Over here in this term, just this term right here, we have 8h. On the other side of the plus sign, we have a 64. Now, you can solve the rest. Go ahead and pause it. Solve the rest on your own. Subtract the 64 and divide it by 8. plug it into the original formula, look it all out, leave it exact, you're going to end up with 352 pi. Okay, go back, rewind, search any of my other videos if you'd like to see more lateral and surface area of cylinders, and ask your teacher if you have any questions.